Hi, I am Sulochana Amarsekara. Today's lesson is database normalization. Normalization. It is a technique which used to organize data in database. This step-by-step process put data into table without duplicate. Now we are going to consider normalization and denormalization. Normalization structured data into tables without duplicate or redundance. In opposite to that, denormalization combine data without considering redundancy or duplicate. Now it is time to consider the difference between normalization and denormalization. First, normalization is process of dividing data into table. Meanwhile, denormalization is combine data into one single table. Second, normalization remove redundancy or duplicate. Opposite to that, denormalization add duplicate or redundancy. Third, normalization maintain data integrity. In other words, insert or delete not give any mismatching data. As an example, if we delete one record from one table, related record in other tables also deleted automatically from the tables. Opposite to that, denormalization doesn't maintain that type of data integrity. Fourth, normalization increase number of tables. That means there are many join in normalization database. Meanwhile, denormalization reduce number of tables. Less join. Because of that, data retrieving with query is faster. Because of data integrity, insert, delete and update is more efficient in normalized database. Compared to that, insert, delete and update not efficient in denormalized database. As an example, assume we are going to update record in denormalized database. We need to find every related record one by one and need to edit each place manually. Last, normalization technique is used on the database which have more insert, delete, update operation. Meanwhile, denormalization technique is used on database which have less insert, update, delete operation and more query operation. Purpose of normalizing database. First, we can use normalization to reduce the duplicate or redundant. Second, we can use normalization to maintain data integrity and data dependency. Last, we can use normalization to eliminate, insert, update and delete anomalies. Anomalies mean error situation under each operation. In next slide, I am going to explain these anomalies detailedly. First, update anomaly. That means update operation case to update only one instance of duplicate data, other instance stay without updating. I am going to use example to explain update anomalies. This is my example. Assume we update John's address, but it doesn't change its duplicate value address in next line. That means change John address. We need to find all duplicates and do changes manually. Second, delete anomaly. This error says that deleting one record automatically cases to remove important data from the database. Consider same example. Assume we deleted S31 student record. You can see here he is the only person who following maths course. That means deleting S31 student case to remove maths course from the database. This called as a delete anomaly. Last, insert anomaly. Insert record into database is blocked by absence of another data called as a insert anomaly. Consider same example. Assume we need to enter course called chemistry. But up to now there is no student for chemistry course. Because of that we can't add chemistry course to the database. That error is insert anomaly. We can remove these anomalies by normalizing the database. Normalization next. Normalization process contain 4 normal form: first, second, third and Boyce code normal form. You can see here data in one normal form is used to convert second normal form, as well as data in second normal form is used to convert third normal form. Finally, data in third normal form is used to BCNF normalization. After completing every normalization form, we can obtain full dependent database. That means finally we can obtain database which only depend on the primary key. Before go to the normalization, we need to consider some technical term come under normalization. First, functional dependency. If x determined by y, we can say y functionally depend on x. You can see here arrow shows the dependent direction. Now I am going to use example to describe this situation. This is my example. You can see here cost is obtained by multiplying unit price and amount. That's mean unit price and amount determine cost. In other words, cost functionally depend on unit price and amount, as well as y depend on x, also called as y functionally depend on x. Here also I am going to use example. This is my example. You can see here average height of men depend on country. That's mean average height of man depend on country, or average height of men functionally depend on country, as well as if there are at most one x for each y value, we can say that y functionally depend on x. This time also I am going to use example to explain this situation. You can see here my example contain two attributes, shape and number of corner. Using shape we can exactly tell the number of corners. But by looking at the corners we can't tell the shape. As example, rhombus always contain 4 corners, but there is 4 shape which contain value 4 as a corner. That's mean number of corners functionally depend on shape. Now we know functional dependency generate according to these 3 situations, and it can represent like this. From here x is independent attribute and called as a determinant. Meanwhile, y as a dependent. Next technical term, composite determinant. If determinant contain more than one attribute, those type of determinant called as a composite determinant. As example, amount and unit price is composite determinant. Now we are going to consider functional dependent types. First, fully dependency. If every attribute come under determinant has equal importance on obtaining dependent, then that type of dependence called as a functional dependence. Consider this example. To obtain marks of student, we need to consider their registration number as well as module. Because of that, marks equally depend on registration number as well as the module. If we miss one attribute, it doesn't give correct answer. That means marks fully depend on registration number and module. Next, partially dependency. Some number of attribute which come under composite attribute case to obtain dependent. There is some attribute which come under composite determinant which doesn't need to obtain dependent. Consider same example. You can see here register number is enough to obtain the name of student. Module doesn't need to obtain name. That's mean name partially depend on registration number and module. Next, transitive dependency. Assume we have three attributes called A, B, C. B functionally depend on A, C functionally depend on B, and C functionally depend on A. You can see here C is depend on A through B. It creates dependent circle. In this type of situation, we call C transitive dependency on B. Consider this example. You can see here course code functionally depend on registration number, course functionally depend on course code, and course functionally depend on registration number. Here we can see dependent circle. Because of that, course transitively depend on course code. Now it is time to normalize the database. You can remember normalization is step-by-step process. Because of that, we need to start normalization from first normal form. If given table contain atomic value only, then we can say that table in first normal form. Here atomic mean one cell only contain one value. I am going to use example to explain this situation. You can see here EMP number column is atomic. That means EMP number column contain one value per one cell. Likewise, EMP phone column also atomic. What about EMP degree column? 333 employee has 3 degree. 679 employee has 2 degree. Because of that, EMP degree column is not atomic. Because of the EMP degree column, table is not in first normal form. If so, we need to convert table into first normal form. Now it is time to convert table into first normal form. Two methods for that. Method 1 is remove multi-value attribute from the original table and create new table for removed multi-value attribute. Now I am going to use method 1 to convert my table into first normal form. According to it, we need to remove multi-value from the original table. You can see here I remove EMP degree column from the employee table. Now this table contain only atomic field. Because of that, it in first normal form. After that, we need to create new table for multi-value attribute. It is done by combine employee table primary key with multi-value attribute. Like this. Combination of primary key of original table and multi-value attribute become the new table primary key. According to our example, it is combination of employee number and employee degree. Then we need to reconstruct table according to new primary key. You can see here employee degree table also contain atomic value only. Now we are going to consider method 2. Method 2 is adding multi-value attribute to the primary key. This time I am going to use method 2 to convert my table into first normal form. EMP number is current primary key. According to method 2, we need to add multi-value attribute to the primary key. Because of that, new primary key is combination of EMP number and EMP degree. After that, we need to reconstruct table according to this new primary key like this. Now we are going to consider second normal form. If table in second normalization form, it must be in first normal form as well as all non-prime attribute must be fully depend on the primary key. Consider this example. First, I am going to consider every functional dependency in this table with primary key. First, name functionally depend on registration number and module. Next, marks functionally depend on registration number and module. You can see here our example contain two functional dependency with primary key. Consider first functional dependency. Here, registration number is enough to obtain name of student. Because of that, it is partially dependency. Now we are going to consider next functional dependency. To obtain marks, we need registration number as well as module. Because of that, it is full dependency. You can see here table contain partial dependency. Because of that, table is not in second normal form. If so, we need to convert table into second normal form. Conversion done by removing partially dependence attribute from the original table. According to our example, name is partially dependent attribute. Then I remove name attribute from my original table and it look like this. Next, we need to create new table for partial dependency. According to this example, name functionally depend on registration number. Because of that, I create new table called student with that partial dependence. Determinant of that partial dependency become the primary key of new table. Now we are going to consider third normal form. Table in second normal form and no any transitive dependency within non-prime attribute. Consider as a table which in third normal form. Consider this example. First, I write every functional dependence within attribute in table. Name functionally depend on registration number, date of birth functionally depend on registration number, class functionally depend on registration number, class teacher functionally depend on registration number, and class teacher functionally depend on class. Consider these underlying dependents. Class functionally depend on registration number, class teacher functionally depend on registration number, and class teacher functionally depend on class. Those create dependent circle, and that circle case to create transitive dependence. Because of this transitive dependence, table is not in third normal form. If so, we need to convert table into third normal form. First, I remove the attribute which case to make a transitive dependency from my original table, and table look like this. Next, we need to create new table for transitive dependency. According to this example, I create new table called class info. It contains transitive dependency, and the determinant of transitive dependency become the primary key of new table. Last, Boy's code normal form. Any table in third normal form and determinant of every dependence is primary key, then that table in Boy's code normal form. Consider this example. You can see here one student follow several subject. 101 student study Java as well as C++. For each subject, professor is assigned to each student. One professor teach only one subject. P01 professor always teach Java, but there may be multiple professors teaching one subject. Professor P01 as well as P03 teach Java subject. According to these facts, professor ID functionally depend on student ID and subject, as well as subject functionally depend on professor ID. According to Boy's code normal form, every determinant must be primary key. But here professor ID is not a primary key. Because of that extra dependency, table is not in Boy's code normal form. If so, we need to convert this table into Boy's code normal form. Conversion done by removing extra dependency attribute from the original table. According to my example, it is professor ID. I remove it and resulting table look like this. After that, we need to create new relation for extra dependency. According to this example, I create new table called professor. It contains that extra dependency and determinant of that extra dependency become the primary key of new table. Finally, I am going to summarize normalization process. Any table which only contain atomic value in first normal form, any table which in first normal form and don't have any partial dependency in second normal form, any table which in second normal form and no any transitive dependency in third normal form, any table which in third normal form and the determinants of every dependency is primary key in Boy's code normal form. Thank you. Refer my note for more information and try to complete activity.